Hey, this is KJ Dykema, your Master Registered Financial Consultant, and we're going to be watching what it takes to be a millennial money in Oklahoma, living off of $39,000 a year. Now, I, living in Seattle, can't have a really hard time even fathoming that idea, but that's also because of my cost of housing around here and everything else. Let's see what it takes to live off of that much.
I've lived at home since I was little.
Okay.
Yes,
Lives at home.
Embarrassing.
That might be
because
helpful.
I'm 32 and I live at home, but there are reasons why I still live at home. It's not because I want to mooch off my parents. My dad is getting older and his health is changing, so I've been there for my mom to help when needed.
See, I love that fact. Whenever you're helping out your parents, especially in a service way, that's one of the biggest things you can do, especially as they get older and it makes it a little bit more difficult. I mean, 32 years old living in your parents' house, it's so cliche for a millennial, but if you're actually helping them out and it's a mutual reciprocal sort of thing, I gotta say, do it. Help your parents out. They gave birth to you. All right, let's see his breakdown here.
Hi, my name is Chance Wimberly. I'm 32 years old. I make $39,000 a year and I live in Colbert, Oklahoma.
All right. Where is that? That's smack dab in the middle, isn't it?
I'm unofficially a paralegal.
So he works as what is this, a child support? Let me go back for a second here. Child support case specialist for the state. So he's not making a lot of money anyways, but he's okay. As soon as I had those words come out of my mouth, the next thing that he says was, I'm unofficially a paralegal. Now it's time to evaluate how you can be a paralegal, because just by making that extra little bit, you're going to be able to do a little bit better.
We work for attorneys who represent our state in child support hearings and proceedings. I prepare legal documents, prepare for hearings, and do case research for them.
That's a huge deal. I mean, I'm not going to tell him what to do, and especially what moves his life, but you are doing basically the same thing as a paralegal. And I don't know what the pay difference in Oklahoma is, but there's going to be a huge pay difference for somebody who is a paralegal versus somebody who is almost an administrative or a state support person. I would take a year just to evaluate what kind of night school classes you might be able to go to kind of get on that path and be able to do this.
Our agency as a whole transitioned to work from home in April, and I work from home Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. We grew up somewhat poor. We lived on less than $700 a month. We didn't have the electronics that many kids probably had at the time. Granted, it was in the 90s, and
so this is a thought that anybody who is watching this show right now, I don't think that they can understand. And he's talking about in the 90s when he didn't have electronics at home. There are still people today in our day and age who still don't have electronics. And the fact that you're going to be able to watch this online and you're going to be able to actually see what you're going through versus somebody who might not be able to, there is a gap that just keeps on widening for that, and the opportunities that lie within it. We need to find some more resources to be able to reach out to these people and be able to see how can they get internet, how can they get the tools that they need in front of them so that they can be successful. Even in the 90s, you know that you had a computer or cell phone, something of that sort, and that very much happens today. But can you imagine not growing up with that? Like you and I, not growing up with that specific amount of technology, how different your life would be.
It's shaped me who I am today. For a lot of people, money is of utmost importance, but as a kid, all I remember is my sister and I enjoying our life, and my mom and my dad giving me the love that any parent should give. And
pulling at the
that's all that
heartstrings
matters.
that he
Right
just
after high
got the
school,
love,
my
which is wonderful.
dad had developed a gambling addiction, and we were behind on our house payments. We were foreclosed on a few times due to that. There were times when, you know, my dad would have to borrow money from me, and I never refused because, as I said, my mom is my rock. And
So that's got to be a big
we were
thing
able
too,
to
when
get
your
through it
family
together.
is facing these hardships, foreclosures and everything, and you don't turn a blind eye. You don't say, hey, this is your mess. You just naturally step in and say, yep, I'm going to help out because this is the type of person I am. I hope karma comes back to him. I really do. Let's look at the budget now.
I pay for my food expenses.
All right.
Thankfully, with family, I get a deep discount on rent.
All right, so we got $1,000 going towards savings, which is phenomenal. This is almost 45% of his entire monthly budget is going towards savings. $540 is going towards transportation, so car payment, gas, and insurance. I'm sure that probably has come down quite a bit since he started working at home in April, but that means he's probably commuting quite a bit. Debt payment, it looks like he's got a little bit of debt, $275 that he's repaying in personal loans and such. He is putting towards investments he's doing at least $175. I remember we did a video a while back, and we had a pilot. Pilot was putting just $100 in investments besides his other savings of 401k. This guy's doing even more than a pilot right now. Not spending a lot on food. Whew, we're looking at $160 in food. Shopping is $130, and rent, because he actually is still paying rent, so he's not mooching off of his parents. He's still helping them and providing for them at $100. I mean, this is. I gotta say, if you're evaluating this strategy, I really like it. It really abides to the how much you're putting in savings versus how much you're putting towards wants, needs, and debt. Those things, debt and savings. So it looks like he's got a really good balance here.
But I pay for my car payment, my auto insurance, phone bill. After taxes, my net income is about $2,500. There are some months when I might buy a shirt or a pair of jeans or a new pair of shoes, but it typically goes to
just a shirt,
my bank account.
A pair of jeans.
I never know
it's not shopping sprees.
So
let's be very clear on this. There are no shopping sprees in his world. It was a shirt, a pair of shoes, a pair of jeans. That and everything else goes towards savings. That is a smart person right there who understands, I never know what's going to happen the next day, and I want to take care of this little fortune that I have right now. Smart moves.
I've initially wanted to be a nurse since I enrolled in college, but I didn't have confidence in myself, so I pursued another major that I knew I would excel in.
That's interesting. So instead of going with what he wanted to do, he knew that, hey, this is what it needs to get done. You can tell that he's not a dreamer here, that he's somebody that's just like, hey, I know what I need to do, and this is the path that I need to do.
History,
that's very
science.
Sediment
and
to it.
And so I went down that road knowing that my true dream was to be a nurse. And when the pandemic hit, it made me realize that life was too short and I need to pursue my dreams.
Pandemic.
Leaning toward preventative medicine because a few years ago I had a health scare where I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes.
See, the pandemic has really shaped a lot of us, hasn't it? I mean, in different ways, people have stressed out. They've had days of enlightenment. They've had days of depression. And for him, it showed him, yeah, when that little spark that I had, when all of this started, now I can do it. Now I can go into something that I want to do. I want to make an impact. I want to help out. And he's positioned himself right now to be able to move into that. And that's just wonderful.
I was able to stop the type 2 diabetes. And then I realized that's what I would enjoy doing with other people, is making them realize that they can change their life.
It looks like he's already started nursing school, so good luck to you, Chance. Student loans.
I looked at debt like it was nothing. I applied for as many credit cards as I possibly could. Basically allowed myself to drown under the debt because I didn't have the income to make the payment.
Isn't this the American tale right here? I was able to get credit, so I just took all of it. I didn't look at how much or when or if I needed to repay it. It was just something that happens later on down the lines. I know personally when I was 18 years old and got my first credit card, the slap in the face for me was my out-of-state tuition bill. I was chugging along nicely, working, going to school, doing everything. When I got that first out-of-state tuition bill, and I had already tried to apply for financial assistance or anything else, looking at a bill that high for one semester put a stop to my tracks real quickly. And I said, hey, I need to evaluate how I'm going to be able to pay this off and how I'm going to do this. There's not a lot of people who can say that they had that aha moment because they didn't get that bill because the student loans came in so much later. They never had to look about it. No, don't worry about it. Just keep on working towards your schooling. And it leaves that false sense of security to you. Hey, you're able to do this. Just get through college.
So my credit was ruined for 7 years. So
7
I
years.
rebuilt my credit from scratch. Gradually, I
7
had
years.
to make payments on time to show the lenders that I could manage my money responsibly.
And he still owes $22,000 on his student
$100 a
loans.
month until the pandemic hit. And then, of course, the government deferred those loans until January 1st. And after January 1st, I will defer them for 2 more years for nursing school. Once nursing school is over, I will start paying them off. Chance.
What just happened here? He was doing so good. He really was. He had all of his ducks in a row and he's saving so much. And then he used the D word. Defer. You defer things if you can't do it. And I can see if you can't do it, but he deferred him out until 2021, which I can understand, especially if you're going under. But then he's deferring him out until he's done with it. I have high hopes for you. I hope that you can just even making the bare minimums and putting yourself in the mindset that this isn't my money. And you have to say this. You have to repeat to yourself, this isn't my money. It's not. You are borrowing money. Do you understand how borrowed money works? It's not yours. So where else is the money going? Are you investing it in the meantime so that you can build up? Well, that's exposing it to a certain element of risk. Don't do it. Just keep on paying, even if it's small amounts. It's so you know it's still there, because guess what? As soon as you go away, guess what's going to happen? You're going to forget about it. That month payment is going to come ahead, and this is what happens. You don't think it's there.
And I hope to be debt-free by the time I'm 36. I intend to pay off my car loan, which will be $17,500.
He got a car loan for $17,000 and he only makes $39,000 a year. What in the world has happened? How did he get approved? My head hurts. My head actually hurts on this. He wants to pay off this car. He better be paying off that car, because he's deferring it out. There better be a very aggressive strategy in play here.
Once that is eliminated, my debt will shrink considerably. I have a credit card that has a $1,000 balance on it, and I'm intending to pay that off in December as well. on top of a personal loan that I will be paying
Okay.
off.
He's got $3,400. Well, if he's able to do this, he should be able.
In Oklahoma, people are defined by their tribe. And I am a member of the Chickasaw Nation, which is a tribe headquartered about 2 hours from my house.
That's kind of interesting about
Colbert
Oklahoma.
is actually
The
named
Chickasaw
for
Nation.
my ancestors
That is really cool.
who traveled here on the Trail of Tears. So my family has lived here in this little city for over 100
Wow.
years.
Those are
People
strong
are surprised
ties.
to find out that I'm Native American because I'm very white, but it really helps define who I am. I'm very proud of my Native American heritage. I participate in the genealogy conferences.
Wow.
I've also organized family reunions for the Colbert family. There are thousands of cousins within the Colbert family. And I
Now
was able
that's
to
a
organize
nice big
reunion
family
for the
right
Colberts
there.
located in Oklahoma.
Wow. That's
I'm
a
not
lot of family
savvy
in
when
one
it comes
picture.
to
Good for them.
investing.
I
do
can't
have a
even
401k
imagine
through
my family
job,
getting together.
But beyond that,
I'm the oldest one of
frightened
7. My dad
to
was one of
invest money
14.
because I don't want
You
to
can't even
lose.
get us all together in a
Because
picture.
It goes back to when I was
There's
little.
just too
and I
many.
was scared that we wouldn't have
All right, let's
anything.
get into these
I don't
savings.
want to be in that
Break it down.
position of not having any money. I have
He has a
$35,000
401k,
in my savings.
which is great.
I typically place
But he's
$100 a month
frightened.
into a separate account.
Check out
Right now,
the
I'm
5 different
using
things to
Capital with
look
a
over
Q.
when you're
I just try
choosing
to
your
put
investments.
some money there each month.
You got
so
to.
when the pandemic ends, I can take a nice vacation. I taught myself about money, but beyond that, I had no guidance. It was all self.
I'm gonna back roll this just really quickly, and I want to make sure I have this. He has $35,000 in savings. Chance. You have $35,000 in savings right now, and you're not utilizing that to defer or get out of that debt, and you're not putting it in investments. You have you have a year's worth of income in savings. You need to do something about that. Even if it is just tracking the S&P, that is a very simple play. And I'm not saying that that's the right play for you. You need to talk to a professional about it. But $35,000 in savings, when you do have debt, you need to get that debt paid off. So you don't have to worry about it. These are use the snowball effect and just pay off these small ones and just get the bigger one paid off. You should be able to pay off everything in whole. The only thing you wouldn't be able to pay off is that car. Chance. Come on.
Savings. I typically place $100 a month into a separate account.
I do like Capital
Right
with
now,
a
I'm
Q.
using Capital with
I
a
highly
Q.
recommend people
I
who
just
are
try
not
to put
savvy at
some
saving
money
to
there
just
each
start
month.
using it.
So when the pandemic ends, I can take a nice vacation.
Oh, he's using it for
I taught
vacation.
myself
like
about
it.
money, but beyond that, I had no guidance. It was all self-taught.
Self-taught about personal finance. I'd like to know
Before the
what
pandemic,
resources
I
you
had
tried to
started
use.
traveling a bit, but when that happened, everything stopped. Besides traveling, I enjoy spending time with my family and friends, and also exploring small cities across Texas. I'm actually politically active, and I serve on the local board for our political party, one of the political parties in my county. I
Activist.
also serve on the election board for my county. Politics has been an interest of mine since I was 14 years old, when I was able to serve as a page for my state senator in Oklahoma City. So I always ask and encourage people to exercise
I like
the right
it.
to vote.
All right, looking
My
ahead.
hope is to move to Los Angeles.
Oh,
Because I was out
He
there
wants
on
to move to Los
vacation
Angeles.
years ago, and it was the only place that I've ever been where I felt free.
Okay.
I could be who I am without fear of judgment. I'm openly gay, and living in this area, religion plays a major emphasis or role in people's lives.
I could see
here.
why he has
And
that sense
those
of
religious beliefs have shaped how
freedom
people feel.
from Los Angeles.
Granted, I've
I want to
never
make sure he's
experienced
financially
any
ready
homophobic attacks
for that, though.
But it would just be nice to live in an area where I can walk down the road with my partner and not feel like people are
Well, and I
staring.
think that'll definitely help as
In
he
5
transitions
years,
into his nursing.
I want to have a master's degree in nursing.
Oh, he's going to get his master's in nursing.
And I'm
It's going to
hopeful
be a
that I
big
will
play
be
there.
A nurse practitioner
Nurse
somewhere in this country practicing preventative medicine. I hope people realize that if they're making $25,000 a year, they can still save. It's not the end of the world.
He does a great job at summarizing the facts.
Makes $100,000 or $150,000.
I mean, he's saved
a year.
Nearly right now as much as he's made in a year. This is amazing. Chance, hats off to you. The one thing I want to pose in your corner is, could you do something with that savings that it's not doing already? So the interest that is on your personal loan, on your consolidated credit, on your auto, all of those probably have a higher rate of interest than what you are currently accruing in your savings account, no matter where that savings account is, especially since it's not gaining any interest. You need to look at and evaluate as your next steps, evaluate what you are going to do. Does this make sense to pay this off now or to invest it? Is the market down? And if it is, hey, instead of investing that slowly into the market, not the big lump sum, but maybe $1,000 a month until you get a certain comfort zone with it. Hey, this month, guess what? It's not working. Put it over here because you know that it's not growing at the rate in which it should be, or to offset the interest on either one of these. Well, thank you so much for watching this with me. I really appreciate you taking the time. Any comments or questions, please leave in the link below and follow me for more reactions. Have a good one. Bye. Chance's scenario is not like yours, so whenever you review any of my reactions or what you should do, make sure to go to a financial consultant first and your tax preparer. Never take this as a one-on-one financial advice. Take care.